Okay. Hey, Seuss. Well, I just came back from a walk, and before we continue the story of the descent into chaos on tour, I think I should attempt one of these impossible things. And so I bought this notebook, and I put my stickers on it, whack, whack, and I put it in my pocket, and I have my pencil, and I don't know how to write a novel. I have never written a novel. I got my pencil out, and I wrote pages in this little notebook. And I think I may have written the opening paragraphs. Evidently, I'm writing a novel. I guess what I do now is I take what's in this notebook, these opening paragraphs, and I type it out on this typewriter, and then I read it back to myself and see what we have, and then write some more, I presume. And then we can get back to telling the story of my doomed musical career. Okay, let's get to it. Voila! And there we have it. Ladies and gentlemen, oh my God, I have broken the seal. Okay, let's see what we've done here. She walked down the concrete tongue of dock, listing gently and suspended above the clear black liquid of the inside passage. 20 minutes suspended in that dark salt brine, limbs lose their command, and by 30 she'd be on her round trip to the sea floor. As she walked down the maze of marina spurs, that basic truth was on a low-heat constant burner in a stew of uncatalogued details that kept her alive. Leading her now, though, was a different desire, altogether beyond survival. She often took these long, aimless walks from her third-floor apartment. Today, though, she had left work with cash and walked toward the sea, following the curve of her mind and the path. Thin in a cashmere coat, tall from a distance, straight blonde hair spun up in a wool hat, sky-blue eyes trawled over the multitude of boat shapes. Her gait was easy and confident, telegraphing ownership, though she had never seen this rack of ships. Aware of where people might or might not be without having looked in any particular direction, she chose a small, canvas-covered speedboat, reached down and popped several of the canopy cover snaps with a smooth motion, and bending in a frog shape, slipped down and into the cocoon and out of the steadily increasing rain, and re-snapped the closure, and felt her chest expand from her tailbone to her throat in anticipation. Her spine extended, or it felt that way, and she lay down slowly, backward, not on a seat in the open cabin, but on her back on a salty stretch of slightly fishy carpet between the fixed seats, bending her knees toward her chest while spreading her legs to the edges of the aisle. She moved her hands slowly onto her hips, her breath measured in her ears. She unbuttoned her jeans, leaving the zipper closed, and pulled the sides of her pants at the waist, her fingers bending as they forced the hem around the height of her hips until she could feel the cold carpet on a slice of her naked ass. And the top of her pelvic mound was revealed, but there was no one but the Creator to notice, and she lay still, rocking on the water, tied to the metal, tied to the wood, tied to the concrete, tied to the rock, barely tethered at all. Already halfway out to sea, the muffled din of the 9-month cascade of winter, a million tiny fingers playing timpani on the tightly stretched canopy above. Well, there you have it, folks. The first paragraphs of a great career. Literary highlights to come. Okay, and now we must return to our story at hand, which was descending into the chaos of tour and the plague that followed. Speaking of plague, Jesus Christ. Oh, yowza. Oops, shit.